Well, to make Bharwaan Khumb for 4 people, you're going to need 8 medium-sized field mushrooms, or you could use portobello mushrooms, 2 cock's apples, which will be chopped, and 1 large leek, which will be thinly sliced, 1 teaspoon of cumin seeds, half a teaspoon of coriander powder, half a teaspoon of red chili powder, pinch of salt, and maybe some chopped coriander leaves, 1 tablespoon of cheddar cheese, half a green chili, 300 grams of kale leaves, and the sauce will be made with 3 medium-sized tomatoes, 1 tablespoon chopped garlic, 1 teaspoon of coriander seeds, half a teaspoon of coriander powder, half a teaspoon of red chili powder, and a pinch of salt, and finished with half a teaspoon of Garam Masala as well. To make the salad, which will be with apple and kohlrabi, you need 1 of each. Half a teaspoon of cumin seeds, half a teaspoon of coriander seeds, half a teaspoon of crushed red chilies, and then some lime juice, olive oil, and some sesame seed oil, and a pinch of salt. So this recipe is broken into 3 parts. The first part is the mushroom and its stuffing. So we got the mushrooms here, and all I'm going to do is use a spoon. You could use a small knife as well, and remove the stem, which actually comes out with the hand also. And just to remove the frill, it just gives more room for stuffing, in my opinion. So once this is done, look at that, it's all cleaned up. I'll keep it like that. I'll just add a pinch of salt, so if there was excess water, it'll just run out now. Now the pan is ready. Start with about a tablespoon and a half of oil. Always remember to saute the spices. The temperature of the oil is crucial. So now this oil is absolutely ready. All I'm going to do is just add the cumin seeds. About a teaspoon I have added. Don't need more than that. And just saute it lightly. Love the flavor of cumin being sauteed. It's such a nice flavor. Now I'm being a little naughty. It's not in your recipe, but you could do that. I'm adding a little bit of chili and ginger. And as that sautés, I'll add all the sliced leek. You cook it to an extent, it becomes nice, soft, mushy actually to an extent. And then I'll be adding a blob of butter into this. Leek and butter, it's magical, works really well. And at this stage, I will also add a pinch of salt. And what I did with apple, we peeled and cored and diced it, and then kept it in water. You could either toss it in lime juice so that it doesn't oxidize and becomes black in color, or you can keep it in the water. So before I add the apple, I will just go on to add the powdered spices, which is half a teaspoon of coriander powder and 1/4 or half a teaspoon, depending on your personal tolerance, of red chili, lal mirch. Just do that, and a pinch of garam masala. Just a pinch, you don't need more than that in my opinion. And just saute all that. Quick stir. Love it. And then all the apple can go in. Look at that, this is wonderful. Such a good stuffing. It'll be spicy, it'll be sweet, it'll be a little oniony. And if you wish to make it slightly more crunchier, you could add some chopped red onion in there, and it'll just give a more kind of pronounced crunch, more than apple. I'll add a little bit of chopped coriander, and I'll stop the cooking. I don't want to cook it too much, and I'll put it into a bowl here. And I'll let it cool down. It's best to let the water seep out and not to have a very wet mixture, which will make the mushrooms even wetter and will not grill properly. So I just leave it, all the water will seep right at the base of the bowl, and I'll use the vegetables from the top. Well, this is done. Next thing to do for me is to make kadhai sauce. Right, the stuffing is ready. I'll just mix it all together and again let the excess moisture seep out. I'll leave it on the side. Meanwhile, I'll go on to make my sauce, which is the kadhai sauce. It's one of the classics from traditional Indian cookery. We'll use about 2.5 tablespoons of vegetable oil to start with. Bring it to a real good heat before I'll add about a teaspoon of coriander seeds and half a teaspoon of chili, dried red chili, which I've got the crushed red chili here. And all I'm going to do is pound it so that I can get a coarse mixture. Don't need it too fine. Perfect. Oil is quite hot. And all I'll do is add all of it in the oil. Saute that quickly. And also about a teaspoon of chopped garlic. These are the 3 essential ingredients of making kadhai sauce. You have to have garlic, coriander, and crushed red chili. And remember not to color the garlic too much. Just light sauteing is good. And as that happens, I got about 2 to 3 chopped tomatoes that go in. Pinch of salt. And I'll be adding red chili and coriander powder and garam masala in a while. Coriander powder and a pinch of garam masala as well. My water is boiling. My sauce is almost ready. What I want to do is I want to check perfect. Before I go on to mix the kale and the sauce, I would like to put the stuffing together. So what I'm going to do is pick up all the potato and the leek mixture, leaving the water behind. Grated cheese, about 1.5 tablespoons. Some more chopped coriander. You could also use mint. And about half a teaspoon of chopped green chili. Give it a good stir. Remember not to use all the cheddar cheese at this stage because you would need some to put on the top to gratinate as well. Mushroom cups are ready. Just stuffing to go in. Fill it liberally. Don't need to press it too hard because it doesn't help. Just put it lightly. With all these vegetables, it's a sign that winter is on its way. These are autumn vegetables which lead us into cold, shivering winter, and we'll have more flavors from winter too. This is one beauty of seasonal food, and best is to enjoy the seasonal food on the top of the season, in my opinion. Nature gives us the best when it intended to be, rather than forcing it, bringing the ingredients from across the globe and trying to cook things which are not in season. They don't do for me, and I hope you do that too. So a little bit of chopped coriander to go on top, and what I'll do is I'll take the paper out, put it straight onto the tray. There's no need of the paper, and this will go in a hot oven with the grill on. Right, while this gets gratinated, I'll cook my kale quickly. So the water is boiling. Just drop the kale quickly. Right. So just drain off the excess water and kale goes straight in there. So kale is in. Pinch of salt just to make sure that kale is nicely seasoned. The sauce is, but it's important to make sure that kale also has plenty of salt. Otherwise it will taste very bland, which won't be nice. So it really becomes like a warm salad. Right. To make the dressing for the salad, it's a quick process. Just half a teaspoon of cumin seeds and half a teaspoon of coriander seeds. All I'm doing is toasting it together, just very lightly, so you get nice toasted flavor. And I'll be using a little bit of crushed red chili. I'll crush them all together in a minute. Pinch of salt and pinch of sugar. It's the vapors, it's the kind of air on top of spices. When you just do that, that gives the sense to your sense of smell, basically, that it's toasted or not. And it is cooked now, and all I'm going to do is just add it there, crush it lightly, and I'm going to swap it the clean bowl here, in which I'm going to add a tablespoon of lime juice, just a small dash of sesame seed. Remember, sesame seed is very strong oil, and about a tablespoon of olive oil, and all these spices which I just crushed. Half of it would do, save some. We can use that to sprinkle on the salad a bit later. Perfect dressing, in my opinion. Works really well. Taste it quickly. Very good. Could add a little bit of sugar just to balance the acid and the salt. So I'm after sweet and sour dressing. That's ready. Right, this equipment is called mandolin, which is basically a slicer. If you don't have this, you could always use a knife and cut the vegetables thinly. So this was gobi or kohlrabi, which I'm going to get thin slices. These type of machines come with a guard as well on top. I'm a professional, I have done this several times, but I'm careful what I'm doing. So if you guys are using one of this, make sure you do it with a guard on. Don't do it with your hands. Start with apple again. So keep the skin of the apple, and then that gives us enough. We'll be able to, we got plenty. So we'll start with, just alternate it with apple and kohlrabi. Don't worry too much if it's not too perfect, because the salad, the leaves are going on top, and then the mushroom is going to sit on top of that. I would have preferred to have it more thinner, crispier, and more round. But I also know life is not perfect, so we have to kind of adjust. Okay, that's there. It's a lovely salad. And then we have our lovely salad. All I'm going to do is just place some leaves with a little bit of tomatoes as well in between. Look at that, this is beautiful. Make sure you put plenty of sauce in there. That's done. And I think my mushrooms should be ready too. The mushrooms are ready as well. Just seat it on top of the pan. Before I place the mushroom, I'd like to just put the dressing on top. put enough so that it tastes nice. And lift one of the mushrooms for, you could serve one for a starter, and you could serve 2 or 3 for the main course. So that's my bharwa mushroom with kadhai kale and apple and kohlrabi salad. Right, I'm quickly going to rattle down the way I cooked this recipe, my Bharwaan Khumb or stuffed mushroom. For mushrooms, I removed the stems and removed the black frills, added a pinch of salt and let it sweat a bit, sitting at the room temperature on the side. To make the stuffing, I started with oil and added cumin seeds. As cumin seeds spluttered, I added sliced leeks, followed by coriander powder, red chili powder and a pinch of garam masala. And then I followed it with diced apples, sauteed the apples together, corrected the seasoning and removed it to a side to let it cool down. To make the kale, I blanched the kale leaves first, and then to make the sauce, I heated another 2 tablespoons of oil, started with crushed garlic, coriander and red chili flakes. After sauteing these 3 spices, I added diced tomatoes. Cook the tomatoes with a pinch of salt and then add the spices, coriander powder, a pinch of garam masala. Once the sauce was ready and the seasoning was right, I sauteed the kale with the sauce for another 2-3 minutes. Meanwhile, I stuffed my mushrooms with the stuffing of apple and leek, and I mixed a tablespoon and a half of cheddar cheese, coriander leaves, and I mixed it all together, stuffed it in mushroom. I grilled it under salamander or the grill of the oven. And then I went on to slice kohlrabi and apple, and then I made a dressing to go on top, which was with toasted seeds of coriander and cumin and some red chili crushed together. To that I added lime juice or lemon juice, dash of sesame seed oil, olive oil, and I mixed it all with the spices to get the dressing. Now to plate, you place the salad, alternate layers of apple and kohlrabi, followed by kale, which is with tomato sauce, and then place stuffed mushroom on top. And that's it. That's my bharwa mushroom. I really hope you guys will enjoy this.